What's up, y'all? So in today's video we are going to be making a font changing application using WebSockets, React hooks, and Express. And this is probably one of the worst ways of seeing WebSockets being implemented in a project, but it is also one of the most creative ways I hope that you've ever seen. And yeah, so this is what we have right here. We can click a button and it changes the font result for every single client that is with a WebSockets server. And without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is go ahead and open up your code editor of choice. I prefer the Visual Studio Code right here. And I created a new directory for this project. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a React app. So that is going to be npx create React app. Let's call it font changing app. Real creative. Alright, so I have the app made and I started it up, and right now I'm inside of the App.js file inside of the source folder, and I'm going to clear out this information for the header because we don't need that anymore, and I'm going to convert this function app to ES6. So const app is equal to arrow function, and I'll just save that. Let's see if that is running properly. Cool, nothing shows up. Alright, now I'm going to go back into our app and I'm going to install all of our dependencies that we need for our application to work. So the first one's going to be npm I. We're going to install bootstrap. So we have the buttons, so we just have a basic button that looks nasty. And I'm going to do socket.io, and the next one is going to be for our client, so socket.io -client, and the last one is going to be Express. Don't worry, all of these links for the documentations are in the description below, so if you're having trouble you can just go ahead and go click on those. But I'm going to import all of our bootstrap stuff we need. So the link in the description below is going to take you to this page right here, this getting started documentation page. Just go ahead and copy this import first, and we're going to have to paste that in the app.js file. So I'm going to go into here. I think it was the index.js file. We just do it inside of here instead. And the next one is, so we need to copy this bad boy, and we need to import it into our Index.html, which is inside of our public folder right in here. So I'll just paste it right below this bad boy right there. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and put all of our dependencies inside of our app.js file. So right underneath this import, I will just do import all as react bootstrap from react bootstrap, and the next one, let's do import socket.io from socket.io client. Oh, whoops, socket.io client. There we go. And I'm going to create two useState functions. So const font and useSetFont is equal to useState. Let's do empty braces right there, and the next one is going to be our endpoint, so I'll just do endpoint, and we'll set that to useState, and just leave that as empty for now. We'll add the actual endpoint later. Alright, so let's create a function that is going to be responsible for sending data to the server. So I will const send data to server. I'm amazing with my names, I know, thank you very much. And I'm going to give it a variable called socket, and I'll set that equal to socket.io, and we'll just give it endpoint right here, and let's do socket.emit change font to font. And this is basically going to be responsible for sending the data to our server right here, this line. Alright, now let's create a function that is going to be responsible for setting our font, or changing our font from this empty string right here to whatever font that we want. So let's call that const change font. And I'll just do set font to font, and we have to give it the parameter of font right here. And let's just also console log font. Let's just see if we can also get anything with it. Cool. So we basically set up most of the stuff that we need. Let's go into our server side and let's build that out. Alright, let's create a directory called server. So I'm going to do make directory server, and let's cd into the server, and let's make a file called server.js, and let's go ahead and import all the stuff that we need. So I'm going to do const express is equal to require express. Next one, let's do const http is equal to require http, and the last one, let's do const socket.io is equal to require socket.io, not the client one but the regular one, and let's give it a port number. So port is equal to that number. Const app is equal to express, and let's do const server is equal to http.create server. I'll just put app in there, and const io is equal to http, actually no, not http, socket.io, and we'll give it the parameter of server. Cool. All right, let's make a simple GET request to make sure that our server is working. So I'll do app.get /rec_res, and let's just do a res.send, oops, hello world, and let's do app.listen, and we want to be listening on port that number, and oops, let's make an error function right here, and we're going to do console.log app is running, actually not, let's not do app, let's do server is running on port. I should have done the backticks instead. Whatever. Port. There we go. And let's run it. Node server.js. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up. Let's go to localhost 3000, but it's not 3000. It's that number, and we have hello world there. Cool. So we got everything connected for our server. Let's go ahead and actually build out the socket functionality. Alright, so let's go back into our application, and let's replace this app.listen with server.listen, and let's get rid of this app.get. And the first thing I'm going to do is io.on to create our connection. We're just going to do connection, and I'll give it a variable of socket. And inside of here, let's do console.log new client. Oh, I should do that in quotes. Whoops. New client connected, and let's do a disconnect as well. So socket.on disconnect. I almost forgot to spell disconnect there. All right, so, and we'll just do console.log client disconnected. Oh, I guess I must have done a console.log. Let's do a underneath this console.log, let's do socket.on. This is basically going to grab our emit from our front end, and we're going to do a bunch of stuff with it, and we're going to send it to every single client that is available using our server. So socket.on, and let's do change font, give it the parameter of font, and let's do console.log font was changed to, that was that font right here. And now that we're receiving the data from our front end initially from a user, we want to take it and send it back out. So I'll just do io.sockets.emit and change font. I think that's what it was called. Change font, yep. Change font, and we'll just do font right here. Cool. Alright, so that concludes all of the stuff we need to do for our server side. Before we go back to our front end, let's go ahead and restart the server. And I'm going to minimize this because we no longer need it anymore. And go back into our app.js. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a use effect. And basically this use effect is going to be taking our endpoint and taking the data that we got from our server side to be able to change the font of that sentence. So this is what it will look like. Const socket is equal to socket io, and just endpoint. Alright, we also need to put our endpoint. Let's do that after we finish this. So socket.on change font, and let's give it a parameter of font right here. And so to change the font of the actual information that we're receiving from our server side, we're just going to do document.getElement, get element by ID, and we'll just call the ID final result dot style dot font family is equal to font. Cool. Let's also edit this endpoint right here. So the endpoint will just simply http://localhost : that number. Alright, so let's make two buttons. One is going to be responsible for changing our font, and the other one is going to be responsible for setting our font. So I'm going to do react-bootstrap.button, and let's do change to font 1, whatever. We don't really have a font there. I just want to see what would happen if we were to test it out. Let's see if it actually works. And I'll do an on click, and oops, let's give it a parameter. Oh gosh, this keyboard. And let's give it a parameter of change, not parameter. Well, let's give the function change font. And inside of here, let's put in just a bunch of stuff. It doesn't really matter. And let's make another button. Let's just copy this. Let's paste it down here. And instead of doing the function change font, we will use the function send data to server if it would auto. No, it won't. Okay. Now it would. All right, fine, whatever. We won't give it a parameter or anything, but we'll just leave it like that. Let's do change font. Let's save it, and let's go back into our app and let's see what we get. So we have these two buttons, but we need to see the console log. Let's open up our terminal. Let's see if it actually added anything. Oh, cool, right there. So our node Express server was able to console log the data that was received, which was this mumbo jumbo right here. Nice. All right, let's go shopping for some fonts. Yay. All right, so let's go back into our app, and I'll just Google search Google fonts. Let's click the first link, and let's try and find the freakiest fonts that we can. I want something really, really freaky. Oh, let's go with monospace. I don't know what that is, but okay. And that's not really that freaky. Let's go with let's try handwriting. That is some nice font right there. That is really nice. I like that. All right, let's use this. So let's add this to select this style. I like that style. Let's grab two more. Let's go back, and instead of handwriting, let's go with, I'm just gonna close my eyes and select the first one. I like this one right here. I don't know what this is. Oh, that's sort of the same as first, but okay, whatever. We'll select Pacifico. So, and let's find one more. Oh, I like this one right here. Bangers. That's a weird name, but okay. Okay, I'll go with it. And let's embed. So let's copy this bad boy right here, this link. And we will just go ahead and import it into our Index.html file, which is right in here. Let's import it right below this thing. And what else did it say? So these are our names for our fonts. Okay, that's really useful. Let's go back into our app, and we'll just put it right. Let's put it right in here. We'll comment it out. All right, let's make corresponding buttons for these fonts, and let's check. Let's select this first one right here. So we will just copy this bad boy right here, and I'm just gonna paste it inside of here. And let's change this to whatever the name of the actual font is. Add change font to that font, and let's also give it the style of that font as well, because I think it actually should look like that. So font family, I don't know why is it not auto-completing. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. All right, let's put that in there. Oh, we don't need quotes. We just need like that. I think that's how you do it. I really can't remember Do I need quotes around the entire thing? I do need quotes around the entire thing, or else it won't recognize it. Okay. I think that should be fine. That's weird. Why is it looking like that? There's an error. What's the error? Okay, now it's fine. Wow, it is really slow. Oh my god. Alright, let's do the same thing for the other ones as well. So let's copy this and we'll paste it 2 more times. 1 and 2. And oh, there's an extra quote right there. Let's get rid of that one. Oh no, we actually need that quote. Whoops. And let's copy this font right here. Let's put it in here. Let's copy this one. Let's put it in there. And let's get rid of these semicolons. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And let's change the font to this. Okay. And this. We gotta fix the quotes again. Okay. There we go. And let's do the same thing for the last one right here. So let's copy this. Let's paste it right in here. And let's get rid of this quote. I mean these quotes. I should really use my keyboard for this, but it's so slow. I'm so slow at that. Okay, let's copy this again. I think I copied something previously. Let's paste it there, and let's get rid of these quotes. And let's save it. Let's see what it looks like now, because I think we did a lot of things that were hard to follow. Wow, that is really, that looks really nasty. Okay. Alright, let's change the color of these buttons. I don't really like how they look. Let's add a, I think variant, was it? Variant. If I can spell it. Info. This is just, I think it was a light bluish, grayish color. And for this one, let's do variant success. And while we're at it, let's also add our result as well. So I'll just add a h1 tag right here. I'll give it the ID of final result. And let's type in, wow, this is your final result. Cool, let's make sure that was the right name. That was the right name, cool. Let's see what it looks like now. That looks a little better. Still looks really weird, but it looks a little better. Okay, I think that's all that it really needs. Let's test it out and see if it works. So if I click a button right here and let's change the font. Oh, it changed the font. Yay, it changed the font. Nice. Cool. And we also have to open up another client. So I'll just do localhost 3000 just to make sure that it works. Let's split this one. Make one right here, make one right here. So if I change the font to this, it should change. Ooh, nice. It changes everything. Yay. So we implemented WebSockets and everything. Let's make this a little bit better. Let's position the buttons, let's make the title, everything like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up our app.css, and at the very bottom of this, I'm gonna do, let's target, do we even have a class name for this or an ID? Why did I do Arslan? Okay, we need to apply an ID to these buttons. So let's do ID is equal to font change button, and I'll just copy this and let's paste it into here and into here, and let's also paste it into here as well. And let's go into our app.css. Let's target that div, font change button, and let's do a display flex direction row. Let's see how that looks. Should look a little better, if it even looks anything like difference. Okay, it doesn't change at all. Let's make sure we have the exact same name. Is the name right? The name is right. I did not target it right. Whoopsies. Alright, let's try it out now. I think it should be okay. Tis not. Are you tisn't me? Okay, let's try, let's add a little bit more justify. Content center. Does that work? That does not work. Are you even working? Is it even applying? Oh wait, did I remove the... I did not. Oh, okay. That's not good. Let's check the right here. Where is it? So we don't even have it applying to that. That is so strange. It should work, because like if I apply it individually inside of this inspect, yeah, it should work right there. But why are you not getting targeted? Oh, whatever. I guess let's just copy this, paste it. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. There's a lowercase b. B. Damn. Okay. All right, that's a little bit better. Let's make it better. Let's do a width at 50%. See what that looks like now. Okay, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. And let's put it in the middle. So it'll be margin left auto and margin right auto. Let's see how that looks. All right, let's make this a little bit smaller. I think it should be just final result. Or if the R just changed to lowercase automatically, I don't know. 25 pixels, and let's check it out. All right, that looks a lot better. Let's try it out one more time for the boys back home. Let's change the font to Dancing Script. Okay, that looks good. Let's change to Pacifico. That looks good. Let's change the font to Bangers. That's the best. Let's quickly add a title to this thing. So I'm just gonna add an H1 at the very top, right underneath the class name app. Let's call it Font Changing Boy. Let's see what it looks like. Yay, that looks really good. Nice. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this and learned a little bit more about how to use WebSockets with React hooks and Express. I have a challenge for y'all. Try to add a total users count, that are the total clients that are inside of this application, at the top right corner, top left corner, whatever. But try to implement that function to help solidify your understanding a little bit more of WebSockets. And yeah, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.